was unlike anything that had ever happened in television or in journalism. I never felt the way that I felt that day until 9/11.
John F. Kennedy was the 35th President of the United States of America. Kennedy was inaugurated on January 20th, 1961, coming into office at a rough time in American history.
Ask what you can do for your country.
Throughout his short amount of time as president, he was able to do many things, such as helping the economic development of America, assisting the civil rights movement, and dealing with the Cuban Missile Crisis. Because of these accomplishments, Kennedy built a strong trust and relationship with America and was loved by many. But in the winter of 1963, while Kennedy was on a trip to Dallas, Texas, something terrible happened that would change the state of America forever.
The right side of his face was up. I could see his eyes were fixed. There was a hole in the skull. I could see in that hole there was no brain matter left. It had all been blown out.
On November 22, 1963, John F. Kennedy was assassinated around 12:30 p.m. on his motorcade in Dallas, Texas, while heading to a meeting.
The cheers of the crowd almost muffle the three shots. The assassin's aim is deadly. The area is aswarm with police, rangers, and Secret Service men. The murderer slips the net. When a few blocks away, a man is captured after he is reported to have killed a policeman.
Kennedy was killed by Lee Harvey Oswald, who shot the president because of his progress in the civil rights movement, which was slowly defeating segregation. But not even 24 hours later, Oswald was assassinated by Jack Ruby while being transported to prison.
Within 3 hours after the tragic death.
Now, all these events I mentioned all took place just within 48 hours of each other, so it was a lot for Americans to take in.
As a public service to the subscribers.
Kennedy died at the young age of 46, and he couldn't even finish his first presidential term. Nobody could expect this coming. It was one of the first times that a somewhat modern America experienced a presidential assassination, so it really caused a shift in America's history. Before JFK died, he left the state of America in well-being. So his death had a profound impact on American politics and society because it marked the end of an era of relative prosperity and optimism.
Well, he was a great man, but so was Lincoln. And he's gone. We can't bring him back. And I really believe that it would be best that it is forgotten.
Well, I think that he was a very wonderful man, but I don't see any need in going on and having any more to say about it. He's dead, he's gone, and he had his memories, but he was a good man, but I think it's best that it should all be forgotten.
But surely a man like Kennedy dying here, it's a year ago now.
Well, that's true, but I think that it keeps her upset.
The assassination of President Kennedy led to increased government secrecy in several ways. One was the creation of the Warren Commission, which was tasked with investigating the assassination. When the commission concluded that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone in the killing, it was met with widespread skepticism and conspiracy theories. In response, the government classified many documents related to the assassination to protect sensitive information and limit the public access to the evidence. Additionally, the assassination led to more presidential security laws, such as the Secret Service Presidential Protection Act, which further expanded government secrecy. Speaking of act, President Kennedy's assassination in 1963 significantly impacted the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Kennedy had always been a strong supporter of the bill and had pushed for its passage many years before his death. After his assassination, his successor, President Lyndon B. Johnson, made the passage of the bill a priority and used Kennedy's death as a rallying point to gain support for the legislation. Johnson was able to successfully navigate the bill through Congress, and it was signed into law on July 2nd of 1964. Many citizens claim that had Kennedy not been assassinated in 1963, that the escalation of an American military presence in the Vietnam War would not have occurred. While it's hard to prove, they're most likely right. With Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson becoming the new president, Johnson inherited Kennedy's plan to withdraw troops from Vietnam, but ultimately decided to escalate U.S. involvement in the war. Johnson believed that a communist victory in Vietnam would threaten the stability of other countries in Southeast Asia and potentially lead to a spread of communist expansion. He also wanted to demonstrate U.S. strength and resolve after the perceived weakness of the Kennedy administration. As a result, Johnson increased the number of U.S. troops in Vietnam and expanded the scope of the war to include bombing campaigns in North Vietnam. This escalation of U.S. involvement in Vietnam ultimately led to a prolonged and costly conflict that lasted until 1975. Overall, John F. Kennedy was a great president and a leader who brought hope and progress to America. His policies on civil rights, education, and economic growth helped to improve the lives of many Americans. However, his untimely assassination in 1963 was a tragic loss for the nation and marked a turning point in American history. The country lost a charismatic leader and symbol of unity. The loss of JFK led to a shift in American politics, the escalation of the Vietnam War, a loss of trust in government, the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, an increase in government and presidential security, and much more. Despite his short tenure as president, JFK's legacy lives on through his speeches, actions, and the countless ways he inspired the American people. He will always be remembered as one of America's greatest leaders, and his impact will continue to be felt for generations to come.
The faith, the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it. And the glow from that fire can truly light the world.